Oh my God! Hello guys, my name is James, this is Logan. Welcome to Red Eye Race Cars, to another episode. Remember, if you like this episode, please like and subscribe so we can keep making more of these videos. Today we got a special little treat. This is actually my wife's 2024 X5 competition. Comes with 617 horsepower. I thought that was going to be enough for her, but apparently it's not. So we have a little JB4 tuner that we're going to put on it that gives it about 100 more horsepower. So hopefully that makes her happy. And if not, we're also going to see about maybe doing a twin turbo on this kit where we can get it well over 1,000 and maybe we can get her out on the racetrack. It'll be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the JB4 and then we'll look at the engine and see what Logan has to do to put this in.
Now when it comes to the color on something like this, is this a custom option?
This actually is an option from the factory. I think it's I forgot the name of it. There was another green that I wanted my wife to get that was more like my car, but she X'd that out. She wanted to get something a little brighter. So I figured if she's gonna get a car like this, everybody's gotta see it. And I think she picked the right color. So you're not missing this one.
Oh no, this thing is amazing.
She also picked the rims on this. We went with 24-inch rims. I think she did a good job of picking the rims. Now she says it's not fast enough. She's gotten used to it, so now we're gonna make it a little bit faster. So the cool thing about the JB4 is I put it into my Wagoneer, and unlike my dually that we exploded for my tune, this one actually just plugs into the front of the computer and doesn't change a whole bunch, but you can actually take it off and it doesn't leave any of the detection to let you know that we actually did something to it to modify it. So it's like more of a front-end system, you would say, right? Yeah. And I put it on my Wagoneer a month ago. It gave me about 100 horsepower. I've had no problems whatsoever. So I figured we'd get it for this car. Logan can figure out how to put it in here. I mean, there's a lot of bracing and all of that we probably have to remove. It's probably not going to be as easy as my Wagoneer. And then, like I said, later on, we're going to put it up on the lift and see what we can do about doing titanium downpipes and maybe changing the turbos if she wants to go even faster.
I'm a big fan of JB4. I've ran JB4 on predominantly all of my cars and I love it. There's so many safety features from the JB4 itself. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So, and I think it's great that you're using that system for your wife because it also comes with a bunch of like fail-safe protocols. So the car does overboost, you know, it automatically shuts the car down. Well, not shuts the car down, but it does kill power, drop power, and in some cases, it will actually put the car back into a safety mode, or a safety map. Exactly. So then you can go back in and rechange after you've done your diagnostic on the car to see why you had overboosting issues. Just a bunch of really cool quirks with the JB4 setups.
And the big thing is you're not flashing the computer. That's the biggest thing about all of this. So when I did my dually, the tuner flashed the computer, which then allows everyone to know that you did something. Yeah. This doesn't flash the computer. It's just like a little piggyback that goes in front of it, sends its code in there. And like you said, with all the safety features that it has, if I would have had that on my dually might still be here instead of melting a cylinder down.
Logan, you ever installed a JB4 on any? So, never done it on a BMW, only installed a JB4 kit once before, and that was on James's Wagoneer. It's not really that difficult to install, but it is a little bit of a process, and by looking at this truck, there's a couple things in the way, so definitely gonna be a process. But really looking forward to the result from installing the kit and the performance that it's gonna gain. So, this thing already looks nice, it's already pretty quick, but it's gonna be a lot faster, so excited for that.
There's a lot more that you can do internally on the app itself, such as change maps on the fly, create logs, check your codes and clear codes as well. And it looks like James also opted to get the wireless connection kit. So really cool. He's going to be able to use his phone's Bluetooth and be able to make changes on the fly, create logs on the fly, send out logs on the fly. So much you can do with this.
always like to try and find a really nice kind of discreet place to put it. Sometimes it's really hard to do that in some of these vehicles, but hopefully we can find a spot for it. So I've already got maybe a couple ideas in mind, but I'm not sure what's behind some of this plastic, so we'll figure that out shortly and hopefully find a good spot to put the box.
Top brace is off, so it looks like we're gonna get ready to install the Bluetooth connection piece.
Yep, so what this will allow us to do is be able to actually control the module with the phone simply by just attaching this dongle to the box, and this is just gonna mount somewhere in the engine bay to where we can still get a clear signal while still in the car or even outside of it. So kind of gonna get this set up before I start undoing the connectors, but we're almost there, so keep chugging along.
Doesn't look too difficult. I think it's just a plug.
Yeah.
And then it seats in like a specific position. And then we'll just get back in. Basically the board set.
Yep.
And then right there is where we're gonna connect the wireless dongle.
So as you guys can see, this is the inner workings of the JB4 system. And again, this is the wireless dongle. This is honestly just gonna connect right in there. Real simple, just a bit of a process, but not bad at all. So really like these kits. This is about my second one I've installed, and honestly, they're not bad at all. For it all being a plug and play system, it is really nice. Again, being able to still bring the vehicle into the dealership for warranty is really nice. So yeah, but this should be really nice when it's all said and done.
So technically you're supposed to put on the wireless Bluetooth dongle at the end of the install.
Following the provided instructions, correct. I'm gonna do that now because I want to save myself the headache of trying to wrestle this thing while it's inside the engine bay. Especially in this nice of a vehicle, I definitely don't want to bang anything up. So we're gonna go off the instructions as far as figuring out what goes where, because as you can see, there's a lot of connectors here. And with these new vehicles, there's a lot of electronics. So definitely don't want to screw nothing up, but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and move over to the vehicle and try piecing this all together. We're actually undoing a map sensor. A little tight, but we're making it work. And then, so this JB4 is pretty much just gonna bridge the now disconnected connector into its port, as you can see here. And this is honestly all the system does. That's what makes it so relatively easy to install, and that's honestly one of the best features of the kit, because just disconnect everything, put all the OEM connectors back together, and you go to dealership and get warranty on it. But and this also makes it really kind of sleek design. You just kind of got to tuck some wires around, but other than that, it's really not bad at all. And with these systems, you can also opt in to get quite a few different selections for your maps. So depending on what kind of tunes you want to get, you can have a lot of different presets, all with this device. And with the Bluetooth dongle, again, simply just go on your phone on the JB4 app and then select which tune you want to use, and it loads itself to the vehicle. So it's honestly a really nice system. Again, we put this on James's Jeep Wagoneer, worked out great, picked it up a lot, and yeah, excited to see what it does here. All right, finally got that
First connector in, yes.
Yeah, first connector in out of many. So, gotta love these tight spaces with all these OEM plastics and electronics, but that's what makes these cars fast, that's what makes them cool, so can't really complain too much. But
can you see the map sensor connection from there?
Barely.
Yeah?
It is, try and see. That's it down in there, but as you guys can probably imagine, it is very tight spacing. So between trying to finagle these new connectors in there and plug them into the OEM ones, it's a little difficult, but not bad at all.
Which connector was that?
So that was pretty much the JB4 side of the map sensor connector. So again, you just have 2 connectors, one going to the actual electrical connector that goes into the stock port, got a connector going into there, and then one going into the port. And all that does is pretty much just bridging the gap, and what's bridging the gap is the JB4. So that's pretty much how it controls all the sensors for the car and lets you do what you want to do. So that's how it gets the additional, I believe James was saying, 100 horsepower. So
I think 100 horsepower is what they average.
I'm sure.
I'm thinking it's somewhere more of a realistic number, probably like 70, 60.
Yeah.
Because even on my cars, when I had it on my F30, and I have it on my 8Y RS3, it says it's supposed to pick up about 100 horses, 90 horses, but it feels more like 40 horses,
Right.
50 horses. But the important thing is it's a power that you can feel that's cheap.
Correct.
And when I mean cheap, I mean no intake, no exhaust, straight.
And all it is, guys, this, you can consider this a part, but it's really not a part. This is just an electronic that you're connecting into the vehicle, not even bolting in. So honestly, it takes real no work at all, although it is a little bit of a process. You're not swapping out parts or doing anything crazy like that. And again, whenever you do need to bring it to the dealership, or let's say you want to sell the vehicle, all you gotta do is disconnect this and plug all the stock stuff back in.
Right back to stock.
Right back to stock. So it's really not bad at all. Getting into these tight spaces where it becomes a bit of a process, bit of a problem, but it's not bad at all. All right. Let's see.
And all we're doing, guys, is following the instructions provided by JB4 themselves. So this is not off the top of our heads. This is literally following instructions, just like anybody else would do it.
Yep.
Only difference is it's a brand new vehicle.
Yes.
And it just so happens to be an M. And we're afraid of it.
Very much.
If you guys are looking for an alternative to boot mod or to MHD, definitely JB4 as well. Just like we were just talking about, BMW is like JB4's like flagship, because majority of the BMWs are running JB4. Now you also have boot mod, which is a good option for this platform, and MHD as well. But with the JB4, let's say I think it's the same for boot mod too. If you wanted to use JB4 as a back-end flash, let me know in the comments if that's correct. But I know with the MHD tunes, you can actually use the JB4 as a back-end flash, just to kind of make sure that everything is running properly. So you get all the safety parameters of the JB4 with the MHD actual tune.
So we are pretty much almost there. Right now I'm just kind of buttoning some things up as we're going along. Just trying to make everything look all nice and snoozy, but just tie a few things up just so where it's out the way or runs along with some other stuff. There's honestly, can't get too creative with it just because the wire's already pre-cut. So if you try pulling it one way to try and make it look nice, you'll run out of length on some of the other wires. So honestly, you kind of just gotta do what you can, but that is not to say that you can't make it look nice still. So I'm trying my best to get that to look as nice and honestly OEM as possible. It's kind of one of my biggest things, especially on that car too, although it's a race car. I try and make everything kind of look like it came like that from factory. I think it just results in a lot cleaner look. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get some of these more of these connectors situated and hopefully be done relatively soon.
Now we gotta get the intakes off. So we can do 2 more connection pieces that sit underneath the intakes themselves.
Yep, so these connections are actually going to be for the electronic wastegates on the vehicle. Give us a bit more control over the car and hopefully a little bit more performance. So it's a little fun trying to take these out and not mess anything up, but
I'm more afraid of the car than anything.
Yeah, but we're doing just that. So far everything's been working pretty good. Again, relatively easy install. This is actually optional, so for you guys watching this that may have one of these vehicles, at least for this particular one, you don't have to do all of this, but if you want to get the most performance out of this kit, then you do it. So that's why we're doing it.
And just so you guys know, the intakes actually do not sit on any, or aren't secured by any bolts. They're actually secured by these rubber inserts here, where the feet will kind of sit inside the inserts. Clip connection here, and then a tie here.
as you can see, referring back to our instructions, again, this is something very simple that any of you guys could do. We just happen to be doing it here at Red Eye Race Cars. So, as you guys can probably see, we work on all different types of make and models, doing all different types of stuff. A lot of our stuff is fabrication work, but as you can see, we're capable of many things. Yeah, as you guys see, all of that work, taking this off, taking the whole airbox off, and now getting to see our little baby turbos, you also get to see the little connector that, you know, is buried all the way underneath all of that fun stuff.
So point to it again so we can show them.
Yep,
I think that's the connector right there that we need to
right here.
Right.
Woo. Everything's still a little toasty up in there, but that is the controller for, or one of the sensors for the electronic wastegate. So, with this JB4 unit, again, we'll be able to control that and put a little bit more boost to the motor and make a bit more power. So, I think James' wife will be very happy with this. And honestly, any one of you guys that put one of these JB4 kits on your car or are thinking about it, I think you'll be very happy with it as well. So that is one of two connectors. Now the very fun one that is at a very awkward angle and probably the hottest part of the motor. I get to stick my hand right in there, yay! So, yeah, you get to hold the camera. But yeah, so try and get my hands in there. If I can fit them past these, oh my gosh, so gigantic turbos. They're really not, guys. But it's not all about the size.
Right.
Isn't that right, boys?
Right.
It's about how you use them.
Exactly.
And what we're doing right here, we're gonna be using all of them.
Every bit of it.
Every bit of it. So when James's wife asks, is there any more? That's all, babe.
Nope.
That is all.
Good.
Okay, well, I might have to burn my hand for this one.
Man, for the channel?
For the channel, do it for the gram, do it for the YouTube. This is how dedicated we are here at Red Eye Race Cars. So if you bring your car in, I might have to burn my hand. There is a connector on this side as well that we do not have on the right side of the motor. So go ahead and get that situated, kind of plot the wires, run them so they look nice, and get a lot closer to being done. So a few more things to do, because besides all the connectors, we also got to run the power wires into the cab, which also plugs into the OBD2 port for the vehicle, and try and make all that look nice.
Had so much fun with this Beamer.
Oh,
He's
dude.
actually gonna get one of his own.
I might, just might.
I can see you with a full track 7 Beamer. Ooh, G80 M3.
All right, well, a G80 M3 would probably be like the only way you'd find me in a Beamer. But yeah, so we're pretty much almost there. Again, I'm just trying to make this look as nice as possible. I can do exactly what the instructions say, which is kind of just very generic and just lay wires on top of the motor, but I'm not gonna do that. This is Red Eye Race Cars. It's not what we do here. It's not what I do. So I take pride in doing this. So I'm trying to make it look as nice as possible, but also still function properly. So
I mean, honestly, it doesn't even look like you really did anything, which is a good thing.
correct. And that's my biggest thing. Like I said earlier, I just love everything to look OEM and like it came from the factory this way. And especially once the engine cover's on, you're not gonna see any of this, so it'll all be hidden anyways. But I didn't want to just do a ball of mess, a ball of wiring underneath the engine cover and call it a day. That's not how I roll. Not gonna do James like that, nor anyone else, or myself. So try and make this look nice and pretty. Make it look like nothing was even installed. And yeah.
So it's like all the wiring is pretty much set up. Right now you're just running the final wire for the power.
Yep, so I'm actually trying to find a good spot to put this, which I think I'm gonna put it back here in this location. Just gotta try and find a nice way to put it back there. Just probably gonna secure it with either zip ties or like 3M double-sided tape, Velcro tape, so we can still remove this. And then there's another cord that goes with this kit. It's gonna plug into here. Either I'm gonna use a grommet if I can find one behind all this wiring and plastic that goes in behind the dashboard and into the footwell of the vehicle, so that way I can plug it into the OBD2 port, or I'm gonna go in behind the fender and through the door jamb. So I don't really want to go that way because that kind of looks a little messy, a little sloppy, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So.
But there's no splicing that's going to be required for any of
No
these
splicing, no. So again, it's just an easy connector, and that's another reason why this kit is great, because all of this is just simple connections that you got to make. Of course, you have to unbolt the strut tower brace for this vehicle. Most vehicles, you don't even have to do that. It's just removing a bunch of plastic. The one difficult part was trying to get my hands into a lot of these tight places. as well as underneath the intake. So that wasn't that fun. But other than that, it's been relatively simple. Again, just kind of trying to make it look nice. That's probably the longest part of this. You can probably do this pretty quick if you're just trying to be real quick about it and just connect things and throw it together, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. So.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and again with the plastic, guys, for a lot of you guys that have worked on a car, maybe not BMW because it's my first time really working on a BMW, usually you can go right underneath the dash and be like, oh wow, there's everything. No, there's more plastic panels I gotta take off underneath the dash. So we're gonna try and make this look nice, but also try and just get it done. We're that close, so we're almost there. Just again, trying to make this all look nice, which like I said, is probably the longest part of all this, but still gonna try and deliver a really good quality job and obviously functionality to make sure all this works.
All right, so before we did any of the pretty work inside, Logan and I went ahead and tested to make sure that that JB4 is working properly. We did get some power, so we are pretty much set. We couldn't test any further though, because even though I have JB4, I didn't want to, it's forcing me to clear my data on my JB4. So we're not gonna do that. We just wanted to make sure that it is powering on, and then we'll go ahead once James gets back, we'll connect his phone up and just check out some parameters.
So again, just 3mm. This is not actually just like regular double-sided tape. This is kind of like the grid lock. We're going to use this on here just to secure it. I don't really want this in an area where it's not going to be able to read someone's phone or kind of get lost. So I kind of want this to be just easy and accessible, and also something that you could see pretty simple. So the way the box is situated in there right now, I kind of got it to where it's really not going to move anywhere. Really can't go nowhere. So that's what I like to see, it's what I like to hear. But we're going to go ahead and get this to where it's in a pretty good spot, not in the way of anything, and still functional. So again, what this is going to let us be able to do is be anywhere inside or outside the vehicle, be able to change tune on the fly just using the app. So again, just want to make sure this is in a spot where it's not directly contacted to metal, to where it's blocking the sensor, and so that way it can still connect to the phone.
It's time, sir.
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it. Scanning. Yes. Connecting to device. Valid pin. Yes. Link. Awaiting handshake. Connected.
There we go.
Okay, we got that done.
There we go. You're on map 1, which should be your stock map. No, excuse me, map 1 is going to be plus 3 PSI over.
Okay.
So here are the preloaded maps that are on this JB4. You have map 1 at 3 PSI, map 4 at 4.5 PSI, map 3, which is an E30 blend mixture, map 4, which is an E30 blend mixture, and map 5, which is an E30 blend mixture. Wow, you have a lot of E30 blend mixtures.
Yes.
So in the future, unless this, is this car on flex fuel?
No.
Okay, so in the future, I believe Fuelit makes a flex fuel sensor, but basically these maps would connect up to the Fuelit, and the Fuelit will tell you how much you need to implement your tank size, and the Fuelit will tell you what your ethanol content reading is, as well as it also helps you calculate your ethanol content mixtures at the pump. So that's definitely something to check out for those maps. If you guys want, check that out.
So we definitely want to do map 2.
Yeah, we're gonna do map. Well, you can do map 2, or you can do map 1. I would start with.
No, we only go to the highest.
Okay.
We start at the highest, right? I mean, yes.
That's what we do around here, guys.
So we're gonna run it.
Yep, we're full sending this thing right now.
Full send. That's it. If the transmission is on the ground, that's okay.
Okay, cool.
And it gives us a reason to put a built one in here. So gets us that closer to building a turbo kit for this car.
That's right. I like that. So we're on map. It's showing right now map 1. So we're gonna come back over here again.
Map 2 now.
Map 2 now. Perfect. Let's see what readings. So you have RPM readings, ignition, AFR, idle air intake temp, and boost.
So
we're gonna change ignition.
Oh, I like it.
We're gonna change ignition to, we want to see boost. So that's what we're gonna look for first. We're gonna show boost. So we have boost, we don't need RPM, we have AFRs. Boost, AFR, idle air intake temperatures. Gear doesn't matter, we can change that later. RPM doesn't matter, we can change that later. And the map, we don't need, that's a waste of a gauge, because technically we can go to our settings here and we can see where our map is, so we can utilize that gauge for later. But now we should be able to go ahead and start right up.
Okay.
Make sure that everything is connected properly. Wonderful. So we have our live data readings now. RPM's checked out, AFR is checking out, idle air intake temperatures are checking out. Logan, everything's good.
Yep. Sweet.
Way to go.
All right.
All right. Now we just gotta take it for a ride.
Yeah.
And see what she
finish
does.
Putting in that brace.
Yep.
And then we should be ready to go. Oh, it sounds so good. All right, so first drive. First drive.
We're gonna see what she can do here.
Now, when you first got the SUV, how did it feel? From factory.
Well, listen, 600 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's pretty powerful. So, but like anything else, you just end up getting used to it. So Lorie got used to it. So we're gonna try to see if it is now a little bit faster. So we have to make it to a place where we can actually get on a little bit.
Still warming up. So we are on map 2.
All right, so you want to put it on map 1?
Sounds really good. Yeah, well, if you want, we can put it on map 1 now, and then we can do a map 2 checkup after, or we can hit a quick map 2 poll if you want.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like
We can certainly do that. We'll do a map pull right. I think we can do it right up here. Okay, slow down.
That feels really good.
Yes.
Now coming from stock.
And that's coming from stock. It actually chipped third gear, which is, it didn't even hit second. So we'll try that again. That was crazy.
Oh my God! That's got to be a night and day difference for you.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
You think Lorie's gonna be okay in this thing?
I think she's gonna be pretty happy with it, because that was pretty nuts.
So awesome, we did get a nice log on that. So as I was explaining before, guys, this allows you to go ahead and take real-time data logs of what's going on with the car, and then it actually graphs it for you. So you can see where your trim is, you can see where your throttle position was, or where your pedal foot was. If you're 100% on pedal, 75% on pedal, you can see your target AFRs, you can see RPMs, you can change you can see boost, you can see ignition 1, ignition 2. You can change all of these parameters, and then you're actually able to send this log to JB4 directly, or as you know them as Burger Motorsports, and they will go ahead and allow you to make user end adjustments to your map 6. So here, go ahead and turn this back. Here's where you can view your user end adjustments. Now what they normally do is they'll make these adjustments, they'll change them out for you, or they'll tell you what to implement just so that you can finite the tune that's on your car, but it definitely comes in handy. That's just one of the things you can do. Multiple safety features, so it's definitely worth it. And in a situation like this where I was gonna let my wife drive, or I was putting this in my wife's car, this would be perfect because this is basically letting her know, hey, everything is good to go. And that's when it's not, it's not. And it's not gonna let her do anything crazy. So definitely worth the buy, definitely worth it. And obviously the car feels
The car feels
way different.
Way wicked, yeah, it certainly does. We are actually going to pull over right here, and we're going to allow someone to pass, and we will do another little test here.
Nice. I see that it's also giving you a shift light on there too as well, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Just little features that make it just amazing. Just those little features, you know, things that you didn't have before. Plus, you know, all these extra instrument readings or all these extra readings that you have available to you just to make sure that things are running as they should, I think is just amazing. So definitely successful.
Yes.
Definitely happy.
Now we're gonna put it on the stock map and see the difference.
All right.
So let's see what that looks like.
So we're gonna come to a halt in a second. Switch back over to, we're at 4.5 over. So now we are stock. Bone stock.
Bone stock.
No JB4. It's almost like the JB4 is not even there.
That's right. So let's see what she does now.
I feel like we're about to both be very disappointed.
I think it's going to be very disappointing. I think so.
It's such a big difference. I mean, that was just 4 PSI, but you can feel it. You can see it.
Yes.
I could barely hold the camera. So very impressive. So let's see what it feels like stock. This is no JB4. Nope. Nope. No way. Not even close. Not even close.
Not even close. It is way smoother. Not as aggressive at all. It's not shifting as hard. And I'm sure we'll get to see the log and we'll see actually a big difference.
Nope. It just doesn't. It doesn't even. It's not the same at all.
No, it's not the same at all. Not even close. Not even close. Wow. That makes a huge difference.
Definitely a night and day difference. Definitely something that anybody would check out if you own a BMW or if you're looking into getting one and you want to do some first modifications. This is by far the best modification that you could make. It's cost effective. It does the most. I mean, you put an intake on this car, you're going to pick up 8 horsepower, maybe 7 horsepower, you know, compared to you doing and it's going to cost more than it would for the JB4 to do an intake for this car, because I think the intakes are right around 13, 14 horsepower.
Absolutely. And like I said, I put this on the Wagoneer. The Wagoneer comes with, I think, 500 horsepower or something like that. So my Wagoneer is close to 600 horsepower, and what a difference that has made. I wanted to drive it for at least a month before I changed it on this car, and it has zero problems whatsoever. And I think the biggest thing is we're not really voiding the warranty since we're not flashing the computer. And that's the biggest thing, is we want to make sure the fail safes are in here so that you don't have a problem of melting a piston down. Because if that does happen, you know, these things are a lot of money to fix, and nobody really wants to fix it. You want to have a little fun. You want it to be a little faster than stock. This, I think, is the perfect marriage between the two. It's a great product. It really is.
Fastest SUVs I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's pretty quick and it's heavy.
Well worth it.
Well worth it.
Now, for anybody who's looking to get a JB4, I understand you're direct with them.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to contact us, we certainly would be able to do that. And obviously, you saw us do the install. It's pretty simple. You could do it at home, or, you know, if you want to come to Rally Race Cars, we certainly can put that in for you. We're also going to take a look at it a little later down the road, see if maybe she wants to do turbos in this car. You know, we can do downpipes, we can do turbos, but that's another can of worms we'll get into if this is not fast enough. But I think right now this will definitely be fast enough for her for at least a little while. So maybe in a couple of months she'll say make it faster, and then we'll have to do turbos. Hey guys, well listen, we just got back. That was a lot of fun. As you saw, it really wasn't that much of a big deal to put that in. Logan knocked it out in no time. This JB4 is an amazing product. You saw the difference between not having a tune and having a tune. We explained all the safety features that it has. We think this is going to be a great marriage. I'm sure my wife's going to be really happy with it. Again, thank you very much for taking the time out to spend it with us. We really appreciate it. Please, again, like or subscribe to our channel so we can bring you some more exciting content coming down the road. Thank you.